Okay, Larry, it's time for the theme song.
Hello?
Hello.
This is Mike Nawrocki.
This is Phil Vischer,
I know.
And,
a.k.a. Bob the Tomato.
And I'm Larry the Cucumber.
That was me on the right in the red.
And I'm on the left. And it's weird because in the booth now, I'm actually on the right and Phil's on the left.
Yeah.
So we're switched around.
Isn't that amazing? It's
But we're not in
Like-
stereo audio.
No,
I
we're
only
not.
see one
So
microphone.
you
I
don't
think we
know.
would be able to tell.
We could get up and change seats and you wouldn't even know.
Except for you'd hear rumbling.
See, there I was the one on the top, and you were the one on the bottom.
Yep. And I'm taller than you, so
See,
I'm
there,
really
now
on.
you're on the left.
Yep.
Wow.
Yep.
That's pretty
Let's see.
exciting.
That is exciting.
So,
King George and the Ducky.
King George and the Ducky.
No.
This was
I don't know, what year was this?
probably the riskiest video we've ever produced.
Why would you say that?
Why would I say that?
Yeah.
Because no one in the history of mankind or Sunday school has ever attempted to tell the story of David and Bathsheba to small children.
That's right. But we didn't say it was the story of David and
They
Bathsheba.
said it couldn't be done.
We let
They
people
laughed at us in Bible college when we said someday we would tell the story of David and Bathsheba to children and would not go to jail. So a friend of ours, Sean Gaffney, was kicking around ideas for VeggieTales episodes, and he actually wrote a little script, I think it was a 10-page script, like a 8 or 9 minute short, called King David and the Bath Ducky.
Mm-hmm.
And it was basically David and Bathsheba with a bath ducky, but everything else was literal. It was literally King David, literally Israel, literally standing on the roof.
Yep.
Literally stealing the ducky. And so it
So
seemed
it was still a little bit creepy then.
it seemed a little bit too obvious. And I was worried about, because it was obviously a Bible story, I was worried about kids saying, "Hey, what Bible story is this, Mom? Let's go look it up in our big Bible and read it." And that wouldn't be so good.
Yeah. Oh, hey.
Oh!
This idea here, because I wrote the countertop for this, and then the man who went up a hill came down with all the bananas.
Yeah.
So, but I went to speak at a vacation Bible school up in the northern suburbs. One of our guys here, Jim Vogler, it was his church, and they asked me to come up and talk to the kids.
Really?
And I went up there, and so I did. But the way that they handled their vacation Bible school, where the two kids came out with cardboard cutouts dressed like Bob and Larry.
Really?
Because the lady that was designing the costumes, the Bob and Larry costumes for that vacation Bible school, actually passed away while she was knitting the
While she was
costumes or
sewing?
sewing the costumes, and so
Because of the fumes?
no, it didn't have
glue
anything
gun?
to do. No, it didn't have anything to do with us. I think she was an older lady, which was really sad. But what they did was they
That's
were in a
sad.
rush. They were rushed, so they actually made cardboard cutouts, for Bob and Larry costumes.
Wow, that's
And I thought
great.
that was just really cute. And so then I thought, well, Jimmy and Jerry could actually be imposters, just make believe they're Bob and Larry and wear
Right.
those same
Hey, that
kind
was
of
a great
costumes.
idea.
Yeah, well, it's based on reality, and all the best
Yeah.
ideas are.
I noticed that everything looks a little bit yellow.
Yeah,
Here,
we
a
were
little
experimenting with
yellow.
lighting. I remember you getting on my case about that.
Their eyes
Yeah.
look kind of yellow.
Yeah, it has a nice little soft look to
Everything
doesn't it?
except Larry's tooth. That's the only
Mhm.
white thing in the.
Yeah,
That's kind of interesting.
yeah.
Oh, that's the first time we've ever said "you want a piece of me" in a VeggieTales video.
Yeah, that was
getting
a-
a little edgier.
Well, that was my tribute to Toy Story.
Oh, it was.
So, yeah, I
Oh.
remember that. But
Oh, look, he's got his cutout on upside down.
yeah.
That's funny. Was this the first show in Maya?
Yeah, it was, as a matter of fact,
We
yeah.
switched our animation software from Softimage, which
Yeah.
we had used on everything up till this point,
Right.
to Alias Wavefront Maya, which evidently turns everything yellow, as far as I can tell. And so the whole kitchen had to be rebuilt, and all the characters had to be rebuilt in Maya
Yeah, yeah,
at great expense,
yeah.
I might say.
Oh, yeah, yeah. I think, was this the first one of Maya? Yeah.
What was the one before this?
I think it was
Yeah, this was the first
Josh
one.
and the Big Wall
No,
right before this?
no, Rumorweed.
Rumorweed. Oh,
Rumorweed.
yeah,
Yeah,
because
yeah.
Rumorweed was still soft and
Yeah,
mush.
yeah.
Yep, so this is our first Maya. And this was interesting because we didn't have typical art direction on this film.
We didn't?
No, the modelers did all of the set design and art direction.
Wow.
On this. Yeah,
What was the
with
thinking
Jeremy
there?
Vickery. We just didn't. I think people were busy. They were
we
busy.
just didn't have
we
the
thought,
time.
We thought the modelers who had been wanting to, help with, concept and art direction, got their chance to do it on this, and they did a great job.
Well, yeah.
Especially with the King George.
It's a very good-looking show.
Oh, yes. So the
if you
countertop.
can get over the yellowness.
That's just on the countertop. The yellowness
They've got
disappears
jaundice.
very soon. It's just in their eyes.
Okay, now, here comes the Englishman who went up the hill and came down with all the bananas, which was inspired by what film?
It wasn't really inspired by. Oh, it was. The title was inspired by a title of the film,
Right.
The Englishman Who Did Something.
The Englishman what's that guy?
Hugh Grant.
Yeah, a
Yeah.
Hugh Grant film, The Englishman Who Went Up the Hill and Came
Yeah.
Down the Mountain.
And came down the mountain, right?
Yeah.
So that's
Did
what
you
the
see
title.
that film?
No, I never saw that film.
Oh, wow. But
So
you did read Madame Bovary, right?
Yeah, I
Before
did.
you wrote Madame Blueberry.
That's right. I did.
Okay.
I did.
I did see that film.
You
actually.
did?
Yeah,
Oh, okay.
The
Did it have?
Englishman.
Was it anything like this?
No,
No.
nothing
Yeah.
at all.
Okay. That's probably why. So anyway, I wrote this script. One day I just started writing the script on selfishness, and I had no idea what it was for or how it could be used, because it was just so different from anything that we had done before.
Huh.
And it turned out perfect because then we had this, King George show that was longer,
Right,
and this
right.
fit nicely because it's not really a whole show length, but it's just like a little vignette.
Lovely. I like how they slicked down his hair for this one.
That's right. Very Hugh Grant.
Yes. It's just lovely.
It was great because Kurt actually got that old Sunday school in the basement piano sound.
Yes.
Out of a sequenced keyboard. He actually just
Wow.
went in and played around with the sound waves and the sound curves to get that sound.
Wow.
And
He's-
came down with all the
Hey, that
strawberries.
sounds like you.
Yeah, that's me. And you're the other guy.
Yeah, I'm the other guy. I like your little curls.
Yeah, isn't that nice? Very Swedish, no?
Yeah.
Oh, wait, I can see right through Jimmy's mouth. Oh, no, that's a stain on the glass. Sorry. We're looking at this in a sound booth through a window, and there's actually a little...
Yeah, we
Looks
could
like
get
a
out
raw
our grease
egg.
pencils and draw pictures on this.
Yeah.
This is one of the more obtuse shorts we've ever done.
Yeah. Makes me laugh. Oh, look at that.
Did it make the kids laugh? Hey kids, did you like this? Or was it too odd?
No.
Excuse me, Mr. Englishman. Could I trouble you for a banana?
No.
I suppose it's one of those that people either love or they hate. Eh?
Yeah, it's kind of obtuse. Yeah, okay, so I'm Jean-Claude P. behind the Englishman's hill,
Yeah.
and you're Philippe P. behind the Swedishman's
Oh, is that where we
hill.
were? We're behind their hills?
Yeah, we're behind their hills.
Okay.
We're actually giving the idea that we're standing up on their hills.
Okay.
Yeah, so anyway. Yep, so that's Jimmy and Jerry's version of a VeggieTales story.
Wow.
Yep.
That was something.
Wasn't it something?
Yeah.
Okay, well now coming up with King George, this was interesting because for me it was the first story that I directed that I didn't write.
Oh,
Remember that?
Right.
Remember that?
Yeah, you'd never done that before.
So, because you wrote it, well, you and Sean Gaffney came up with the concept and
Yeah.
a lot of the script, and then you retooled it.
I kind of rewrote it
You
all.
kind of rewrote it all. It was more than just a retool.
It was more. It went past retool. I took the general idea. Oh look, they can't get QWERTY on. That's funny.
They're trying to reboot them.
Function escape tab L. Oh, would ya look at that? Don't be selfish.
That's
That's
the
a good
best
one.
show ever.
Well, we're out of time for today, kids.
Yeah.
Remember,
Oh, here comes Bob to the rescue.
Cranky Bob.
Yep. Cranky yellow-eyed Bob.
Cranky jaundiced Bob.
They don't look that yellow. See, everything else is so yellow, you can't tell really how yellow his eyes are.
Right. Looking through yellow-colored stained glass windows. Old Petra song for you Petra fans out in the audience.
Petrified.
Surely there are a couple of you. Okay, let's get into the show now.
Yeah, this is kind of a long
It's-
countertop.
Got a real story to tell.
Oh, they're so
Larry,
dejected.
Do you remember
Yeah,
that
that's
letter we
kinda
got
sad.
from Lucy Thomas of Bismarck, North Dakota?
Ooh, Bismarck, North Dakota.
Yeah, that's a good one.
I have a friend who lived in Minot, North Dakota.
Wow.
Yeah.
I'd say it's
Is that
about time
related?
we taught little
Where's
Lucy a
Bismarck?
thing or two
Bismarck in
about
North
being
Dakota?
selfish.
Yeah, I think so, right?
I don't
Yeah,
remember.
yeah,
Don't
I
ask,
think.
don't ask me
Yeah, it's-
geography
yep.
questions. We're filmmakers,
To be
not geographers.
Action!
Okay,
Okay,
here we go.
here we go.
Okay, now this castle. See,
Oh,
we
that's
did that. We did that. We
cute.
didn't want to build the whole set, so we used like two-dimensional,
Yeah.
perspective tricks for that.
Right.
And this castle is sort of the typical castle that many fairy tales are designed after, which is the castle in Germany. It's like Weinstein or something.
Hassenpfeffer.
Hassenpfeffer.
Yeah. Now, is
Yep.
it true that he's actually appears to be taking a bath in champagne? Or is that just?
Oh, it's
is
just
it
water. See,
Yellow
water.
'cause it's Maya.
It's not yellow.
Isn't that pretty? That's
See,
gorgeous.
look at that white. That's pure white coming out from
That's-
underneath the door.
That's gorgeous.
Yeah.
That door. Oh boy.
See,
So
that's
we didn't
really
have very
pretty.
many sets in this one, so the modelers went kind of nutty.
Yeah, yeah.
That does look like champagne, though.
Yep. It's just clear water with bubbles.
Okay.
It was a little odd.
See, now it's going from yellow to red now as we go into the Pie Wars. Things get very red here.
Yes.
We was
they do.
concerned that we were concerned that this was going to be a little bit spooky, but getting
how could that
hit
be
in the
spooky?
face with a blueberry pie. We thought, ooh, red, blood red mountains. That's
yeah,
going to be
now
spooky,
that's
but it
some
wasn't.
tricky water work there.
Isn't that pretty cool? Yeah.
I
Yeah,
like
so-
Bob's hair. This is probably his best
His best hairdo. Yeah,
hairdo ever.
yeah.
Who's rubbing him with that brush?
He's scrubbing himself.
Oh, really?
Yep, yep.
Okay. I see.
Yep. So he kind of just uses it
And that
as a
rubber
little
ducky,
prop.
his face kind of looks like the creepy masks from Terry Gilliam's Brazil.
He
Anyone
does.
point that
It's
out?
just those chubby cheeks. I just thought it was cute. I think Aaron Hartwine designed and modeled that duck.
Yeah, I think so.
Yep, yep. And Jeremy Vickery did a lot of the other design
Uh-huh.
sets and stuff in here.
Uh-huh. It's beautiful. Now, who did the bubbles?
Boy, I think that was Aaron who did the bubbles. Those bubbles were kind of tough because if you do real bubbles in 3D, it can get huge.
Right.
So we kind of fake it with a big white mass with some bubbles on top to
That's
kind of make them
beautiful.
semi-transparent.
Beautiful.
Okay, here is our big mistake in this show.
Yeah.
Because Larry goes in and he changes here.
Yeah.
Okay, so he's in a robe.
Yeah.
Okay, so initially he was in his towel. Now
Yeah.
he's in a robe. And so, see, his towel is hanging up right there?
Right.
Okay. Oh, by the way, I got a little divider like that in my house.
Oh, that's
Okay, so
great.
now watch this. Okay, now look at this. He's back in his towel.
Oh no.
Yeah, that was a big mistake.
How'd that happen?
I can't believe we missed that one.
That's
So,
terrible. Well,
yep.
what does he need now? That's his
Now he's
robe.
back in his robe.
Back
Yeah.
in his robe.
So we had that one shot where we had the
Man.
wrong model in there, but we forgot to
Are
swap
we
it
not
out.
paying attention or
We
what?
were- we
Do
were
we
not
watch
paying
these
attention.
shows before we send them out? Holy
did.
mackerel! How can people trust us to get anything right?
When we're looking at it's funny because at this point when we're watching the shot so many times, we concentrate on, do we see some sort of any costume penetration, or can we
Right.
see,
This
like
is cute.
some kind of spot in his mouth, and
Yeah.
those big obvious things we just miss.
Yeah. So this song, hey, look, it's not yellow anymore.
Oh yeah, it's pretty now.
So this song is probably the most influential VeggieTales song of the last 5 years, wouldn't you say?
Really?
Well, we keep accidentally ripping it off.
Oh yeah, you're right. What did I do? Oh yeah, for
It's-
Dr. Jiggle, I did sort of a jiggle
You did it in Dr. Jiggle, and I did it in the Star of Christmas.
Oh yeah, what was your Star of Christmas ripoff?
It's our first
Isn't that
big
pretty?
break.
Isn't that pretty? That model was
That's-
huge, by the way.
Yeah, I bet it was.
Yep. So anyways.
Our
Our first big break.
Yeah,
Okay,
our first
yeah,
big break
yeah,
is
okay.
ripped this off.
Okay,
and
yeah.
then you ripped it off.
I want to
and
dance.
I want
yeah.
to dance.
But we changed it around. Kurt helped out on that one.
Yeah, it's still it smells very similar.
Uh-huh.
Still, so because before every song Mike wrote sounded like the Beverly Hillbillies theme song. So and that would get us in trouble, of course, since we
Right.
don't own that song.
Right. So we might as
So
well rip off ourselves.
I wrote this song
Uh-huh.
to get it stuck in Mike's head. So
Get,
we
get
don't-
it out.
don't rip off the hillbillies anymore.
See, and what I wanted to do with the water here is make it, look like real water, because
Yeah.
every time people do water in 3D, it's always blue, and water
Right.
really isn't blue.
No, it's
water
not.
just is
You're right.
clear unless
Yeah.
it's, food-colored water.
Yeah, I got some major
So-
anti-aliasing going on there on the bottom of the old tub.
Yeah.
That's always been the bane of our
Yep.
existence.
Well, there it goes. Zzz, there's buzzing. And,
Bubbles are buzzing. Zzz.
Bubbling.
They're electric bubbles. It's an
That's right.
electric tub.
yep.
It's a hot tub. So
Look
I
at
like
those eyes.
the eyes. That's funny.
Isn't that nice?
Look, his duck was watching too, just like those chubby-faced kid masks in Brazil.
In Brazil.
Harry Gilliam would be so proud of us
The house?
if he weren't in jail.
Oh.
Yeah, we got some complaints on this show too, just because Larry was kind of nasty.
Oh, that's
As
right,
the
we
king.
did.
Yeah.
We did. Like, we can't have him pretend to be nasty.
Yeah, because
He's our cucumber. We can
That's
have him do whatever we want.
He's really a nice guy. He's just
He's
an
a nice
actor,
guy. Yeah, he's
Yeah.
got to work.
Yeah.
He's got to put food on the table, make sure he gets his SAG medical coverage.
Do you think it would have worked the other way around if Bob would have been King George and Larry would have been Louis?
He would have seemed much more sinister, I think.
Yeah, you think so?
Yeah.
Not quite as jokey.
Because it's a farce.
Yeah.
And when Larry does something bad, it's farcical.
Right.
When Bob does something bad, it's disturbing.
Even one ducky this nice.
Look how shiny their eyes are too. That was another thing. Their eyes look plastic.
Yeah.
That was another thing we
kinda
changed.
liked it.
Yeah, you like that?
Yeah, I didn't mind that.
It just kind of went against what we had always done.
Yeah, I
So it was a
know.
little bit different.
Okay. Oh, look at the duckies strewn everywhere. Carnage. Carnage.
I just think this is a very pretty show. The sets and
It is.
the colors and
the
everything
lighting.
are very nice.
Yeah,
Yep.
it's
Yep.
quite nice. And that song was actually in Lyle the Kindly Viking. I tried to do a Gilbert and Sullivan, fast talking song.
Oh, okay, like the Modern Major General.
Yeah,
with
but
it?
this one was actually closer to what I wanted to do in Lyle than what I ended up doing in Lyle. I don't know how that happened.
Sometimes things just happen.
Yeah. they
Look at
sure
that
do.
rug. Look at that rug, how
Nice
detailed
rug.
that rug is. The
Yeah.
modelers just went crazy since they were doing their own art design. Their own,
And it's
art
not buzzing
direction.
like the Esther rug.
That's right. Although the Esther rug was very nice too.
And Esther was after this, though, right?
Yeah, Esther was after this.
Esther
Yeah.
was next.
Yeah.
Oh, I like his costume.
I think that it was just a matter of, time at certain points in the production, whether we could
Right.
go back in and fix buzzing.
Right, because there were so... Did we just flip that shot around, or did we actually...
No, we flipped it around. Yep, we
Oh,
saved animation
right.
time.
Woohoo! See, we're not dumb. We don't do the same work twice if we don't need to. He's covered with spoons.
Yep. I think that was an
That's
Aaron
it.
Hartline design.
It's the Pie Wars. Get it?
I think this was the first show we did with. Oh no! We had the Star of Christmas. We had snowy mountains in it too, but I loved the pointed snowy mountains in the distance.
Yeah, those are nice.
Kind of gave it a crisp feel too.
The Star of Christmas.
See now, did I
mean
say
the
Star of
toy
Christmas?
that saved
I meant the
Christmas?
toy that saved Christmas was before this.
Oh yeah, and I painted those mountains in the toy that saved Christmas.
Very nice.
They're good.
They're the best.
I'm not much of an illustrator.
I'm noticing here that our clouds aren't moving.
Yeah.
You know, if this were today, we would actually put a little bit of movement on those clouds.
This is today.
Well, if we were
Where are
producing
you?
this today.
Oh.
See, we're commenting on this years after the fact.
right years.
Yep. You know what? And I think that ground, we've reused that ground because that flagstone surface is so pretty. I think we used it. We used it in
Jonah?
Esther. I think we used it in Jonah also, yeah. Or something really similar. We might have referenced it in Jonah. I don't know if they rebuilt it or just used the same one.
Okay.
Yep.
Well, it's some nice ground. Oh.
yeah.
I love this one.
Here
Okay,
comes
tell them
Barbara
all about
Manatee.
it.
Okay, well, this started, this song I started this song probably 3 years before I actually finished it.
Uh-huh.
And I remember
'Cause you're
pitching it to
slow?
you. Yeah, because I'm slow, and well, I pitched it to you initially, and it was problematic because
Yes, it was.
he was initially watching a cooking show on television where they were cooking manatees, and that was kind of, that was a little off the edge. And so
A little.
Although we were saying it was wrong near the end,
Hum a few bars. It was a good little tune.
A curious mammalian sensation with a a glorious mammalian sensation with a curious lack of pigmentation. First you scoop them from the river, then to serve them up for dinner, you just sing this little song with me. Fricassee, fricassee, manatee. My oh my. I don't know, but it was really kind of bad. So it was kind of a Cajun. It was a Cajun cooking thing.
It was a Cajun cooking thing in a highly questionable taste, is what it was. So
Well,
said I.
Yeah.
Let's avert letters.
Yeah, I was a little. It was too little too Ren and Stimpy.
Yeah.
And so So anyway, so I shelved it because it just wasn't working. But then I thought, well, it would probably be work if it was he was watching a soap opera. And so then I changed it all to a soap opera tango instead
Where'd
of
the tango come from?
Well, actually, my wife and I went out and saw a play called Tango, Strictly Tango or something like that. I don't know if it was Strictly
Okay.
Tango, but I think it was just Tango. And it was just this wonderful tango dancing for the whole play.
Wow.
And so I just, thought that would be so cool if Larry would tango with a manatee. And so,
Sure,
yeah, and so I remember pitching it when I finished the song. I remember pitching it to the studio. I remember when we rented those the conference space over the presidential towers by the Clinton Street office.
Yeah.
Yeah, my daughter had this giant polar bear, and I didn't have a manatee, and so
Okay.
I walked from the Clinton Street office over to the presidential towers, restaurant, conference room is what we used it for. I remember those buildings that were under construction. There was a bunch of
Yeah.
those. Construction. So here I am carrying this giant, like polar bear to this thing, and the construction workers are like, "Hey, I like your bear." It was very embarrassing.
Wow.
And so anyway, so I got there, and so then I remember.
Pay a high price for art.
That's right. And so I actually, I used this bear to pitch to actually sing the song for the studio, and I was dancing up and down in a chair just like Larry.
Oh,
But that was fun.
I'm
So,
sorry
but
I
then,
missed that.
actually, there was a movie. I forget what the name of the movie was. It might have been Tango or something like that. But Kurt and I used that actually to form the style of the song, and Kurt actually studied tango, a real tango, and made a real tango out of this.
And we got the lead violinist had toured extensively with
Oh.
Celine Dion.
Oh yeah.
And was rather flamboyant. He used to evidently come out and dance around with Celine and
Well, I saw him.
played-
Did you see him he was in the Super
No.
Bowl with Shania's band.
Really?
Yeah.
He was in the
Roddy.
Super
Yep,
Bowl.
he was in the Super Bowl. Yep. So he played violin.
Wow. And so
on
we
our
brought him
Barbara
into
Manatee.
our little booth
That's right.
and had him dance around with Celine Dion in here.
It's right.
Or he was dancing around with
That's
Kurt
some
Meineke.
nice looking ground there
yeah,
too.
That
Do you
was
see that
good
ground? See, look how small they are right there. See,
That was good.
and we were,
I didn't even see
they were
them.
hopping down. But
Look
you
at
can
that
when they're on the big
shot.
screen.
Oh, that's beautiful. Is that a painting, or do we build all that?
That's all built. That's all
Why
built.
did we
The
build
skies-
all that
the
for
skies-
this one shot?
Well, we just reused some of the
Oh.
buildings from the town.
Oh, that was smart. See, two
Yep.
shots. We do it again.
Yep,
But
it's the
isn't
same
that
shot.
pretty?
It's the same. Well, it's the same model. We just hopped them one way and then the other, and that's pretty too, isn't it?
Yeah.
blue light through the
that's
thing.
real. That's like mist. Looks like you're
Yeah,
playing the
it
game
does. It does look like
Oh,
mist,
now I'm happy.
like his little secret entrance under his bed.
Yeah, that's clever.
Yep.
Why doesn't the bed come back down? How's he get his bed back down?
Oh, we just assume it does.
Oh, we
Yep.
just assume.
I don't think we ever see his bed again after this. As a matter of fact, it took us so long to get those glasses falling off his face shot right.
Really?
We must have animated that like 20
Hold your
times.
tongue, infidel. This is the most perfect ducky the world has
Hold your
ever
tongue,
known.
infidel. That's a good line.
I think you came up with that one. Oh
Having
yeah.
Larry say that, so it's got to be one of his top 10 lines of all time. Oh no! Thomas has been creamed.
Back so soon?
It was astounding.
Okay, this is a cool shot coming up here. This big
Front line.
circular sweep here. This took us a long time.
Whoa.
Yep.
This little fellow single-handedly stopped.
That wasn't cheap.
No, it's hard to do orbits
Yeah.
like that. it kind of
Yeah,
is.
they
Because then
did
you got to light the whole set for one shot.
Right.
Normally they'll do lighting for specific locations.
They did
within
a
the set.
shot like that in Titanic, didn't they?
Circular,
Cost,
oh
it
yeah.
cost like $20 million.
I think that's what shot the budget up. Yeah.
Yeah, and they got the inspiration from this.
From King George and the Ducky.
Yeah.
Yeah, this predated Titanic.
Did it?
Yeah, I think
I
so.
don't remember.
Yeah, I think it did.
Okay.
So, or maybe not. I don't know.
No telling.
You like his little ducky emblem on his royal robe?
Yeah, that's cute.
Isn't that nice?
Little monogram action. You know, I thought that line was so funny, and people didn't laugh very much.
No?
No.
Maybe it was the way I directed
Cobbler
it.
in the hole.
Yeah, I thought it was funny.
That's funny, right? Am I crazy? Is that not funny?
Well, maybe it's just because Junior's standing there plastered in pies and looking
Yeah,
injured.
people
you know.
feel bad.
Yeah, they feel
laughing
bad for him.
about
yeah,
that.
Yeah, so maybe if it was Bob plastered in pies.
Yeah,
Yeah.
right. Being
Yeah.
evil,
Yeah,
then no one would feel bad about laughing
Nobody
at
would feel
him.
bad.
The
Yep.
only one you think about.
But that hairdo on Bob is looking really good, though. He looks a little bit like Lorenzo Lames.
He won't be needing it. So come on,
Liberace.
help me out with that bat. Oh, great. Come in.
What's good?
Oh, yeah. See, it's
right.
Nathan.
Yeah, it's Nathan. This is kind of the most overt giveaway. of
Yeah.
What story
Yeah.
we're telling.
Yep.
Now, did we actually say his name was Nathan?
No, we didn't.
Okay.
No.
In the original script, it was
Right.
Nathan,
Right.
Tell you a little story.
the
Yep.
prophet Nathan. That's who we're talking about.
That's right.
Not, your cousin Nathan from.
Hey, this
Burbank.
the flannel graph here was my idea. Remember that?
It was?
Yeah, that was my idea for a flannel graph.
Whoa, what was I
Thank
going to
you.
do?
I think I don't know if he had flashcards or something. Was in the original script. He was going to tell him with flashcards or something. I forget what it was, but I like that whole flannel graph thing, especially them saying "ooh, flannel graph."
Yeah, that's a big laugh.
Yep.
That's a big laugh among your Sunday school literate
That's
middle
right.
Americans
That's right.
like ourselves.
See, now look, the painting got back up on the wall
Hey,
after it
wow,
had fallen
that's
on
good.
the mantle earlier.
See you next time.
That's good. The workmen came in and fixed
Yeah,
it.
that's right. It's just cartoon kind of
I
stuff.
like this song. I remember this. This was a long
I've
time.
only mentioned one. It's my impersonation of Pa.
That's good.
Thanks.
If
I think Pa should have a brother,
yeah.
and I could do his voice.
Who?
Pa and Pooh. Pa and Pappy.
Pappy.
Yeah,
okay.
Pappy Grape. Yeah, I think that'd be good. Kind of like Jimmy and Jerry.
Yeah. I'm good with that. He's paying attention. Something's
Yep.
sinking in.
Yep.
He's in it. He's following along.
With his shiny plastic eyeballs.
Like that little split level ranch home there.
Yeah, isn't that nice?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like a suburban house with a bunch of sheep in front.
That's what wealth is. A suburban house with a bunch of sheep in front.
Well, let's see.
Boink, boink.
Little
He had plenty of
eyebrow
sheep,
action.
So he could just share what he
I think
sheep.
Joe did this
No problem.
animation.
Gesticulating with his ducky.
He took the lamb of the poor man.
Oh,
He
no.
took the lamb of the poor man.
Oh, this is bad.
The rich man took.
So this is the moment when people start to figure out which story we're actually telling. It has been interesting to
Poor
see
little Junior.
how many people never figured it out.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I won't name any names, but a few of them work here at Big Idea.
Really?
Yeah.
My story is
Oh,
Who is that man?
well.
Tell me.
This ended up in the greatest heroes of the Bible, though, didn't it?
Yeah.
The trilogy? I think
Did
it, the
it?
two trilogies. Yeah, I think
What
it
did
did.
we call it? How did we tell them that it was biblical?
I can't remember.
In my dungeon.
I can't remember. I think it can safely be called the retelling of David and Bathsheba. I think.
But people freak out.
You think so?
Are you
Yeah.
crazy? You can't do that. Oh, that was clever. How do you
Pretty-
get his little stick to do that?
it was pasted on the back of his thing,
Really?
and then he
Velcro?
waved it over. Yeah, and he waved it over. Yep.
Thomas only had one.
Oh man, does he feel terrible?
But you
Yep.
were thinking about
Carpet's a
Thomas.
little soft
You were
there.
only thinking about
Yeah. Well, that
yourself.
was to keep it from buzzing.
You
Oh,
wanted.
Yeah.
okay.
But
Yeah.
Your Highness, what you have done has made God very unhappy. for whether you are a king or just
Here's
a
the meat.
kid.
Yep.
God wants
See,
us
now depth
all
of field,
to
we hadn't
love
really employed that device yet.
Yeah.
So we have a lot of close-ups here, and everything is in focus in the background, which we wouldn't really do now.
No.
Well, although it depends on the budget.
Right.
You know,
It depends on the budget.
It depends on the budget, because that's kind of expensive to do.
Budget schmudget.
What do I do?
Yeah, if we had those kind of close-ups, you know, in Jonah,
Here is what you must
we'd have
do.
some serious depth of
Oh,
field.
to live in a world with infinite resources. Why
or a
can't
compositing guy or girl.
Well,
We got to get one of them pretty soon.
yeah, if you had infinite resources. You see that?
Yeah.
He got sucked right out the door.
Yeah. If it
That was
wouldn't have
kinda
worked for him to hop
mysterious.
back, it would have been, you know,
Right.
it would have been a
Well,
little
that's
bit
kinda
too much.
dramatic. I like
Yeah,
that.
yeah.
What?
I liked it. Time for another bath.
I gotta find Thomas.
Mr. Shiny Eyes. Oh, his bed's still up. See, we
Yep.
did see the bed again.
Oh, yeah, that's
Oops.
right. So it was up. I never went back
Bump
down.
the mic. Sorry, that was Phil. Back to the champagne. Doesn't look so champagne-y now,
That's because it's nighttime.
but it's underlit. Has he got a big light bulb in the bottom of his...
Well, yeah, you know,
Tub.
yeah, I think it's got jets under there too.
Clean you up a little.
Okay.
Look at that, look at that.
That's funny.
Ah.
That's funny.
That was done in After Effects with just a little bubble filter.
Wow.
Yep.
Amazing use of technology.
Big tub.
Am I in heaven?
No, Phil.
Smells like
It's
baking
just my
soda.
Got something for you.
Oh, look at that.
King George told Thomas what he had done.
His bath cap's
and
sort of
asked
blowing
Thomas
out.
if he could forgive him.
Oh,
After
there's better.
thinking it over,
Blowing up.
Thomas said yes.
And in the wide shot, the
Then
bath
King
cap
George
is.
prayed and asked God
See, we've
to
got
forgive him.
soft shadows in this film.
Yes,
So
sir.
I think this
Being
was our first
forgiven
film with
felt
soft
real
shadows.
Yep.
Because soft
And the
image
people he had hurt
would not do them
Thomas
very
do it.
well.
When we're getting some shadow crawl, we haven't perfected it yet, and we still have problems with that. Even to this day,
Even to this
we're
day.
doing the right now. You know, we're doing the render approvals for the belly button song, and we're having to send shots back with
Really?
soft shadow crawl.
Oh
Yep.
man.
Let me
Yep.
tell you.
If you put a man on the moon, you think they can make your soft shadows not crawl,
You'd think, wouldn't you?
right?
Yep. Yep.
Just the other day, I wanted to be happy. I thought it was the way, but it weren't.
That's funny.
Yeah, this song is kind of a non sequitur because all the other songs kind of fit into the genre.
Yeah, I remember complaining about this song because I didn't like the ragtime feel to it.
Intentionally.
Yeah, but I grew to like it.
Well, good.
Yeah, because I remember telling you, I think we should keep it in the same style as the other songs. And I
No
said,
way, that
"No,
wouldn't be funny.
It's got to be ragtime.
Funny to contrast. Contrast is funny. Tried it. Nice lighting on the little lattice work in the back.
Yeah, isn't that nice?
Moonlight on the lattice.
That's a Dan O'Brien special.
Oh, the moonlight on the lattice. I like his.
Look, he's reflecting
mirror.
in the mirror. Did you see his crown
Oh,
reflecting in the mirror?
Wow, that's something.
Yep.
I bet that wasn't cheap.
Nope. There's our
Hey, the
castle again.
clouds are moving now.
Yeah, they're moving because there's a beauty shot at the end.
Oh, that was nice.
Back to yellow.
Yeah.
You know what it was? I remember what we were trying to do. We were trying to get a
What?
softer feel and
Yeah.
a better, less harsh feel on the countertop.
Okay.
But what we ended up, I
And
think
we
it would have worked.
confused less harsh with yellow.
Well, I think if their eyes and Larry's tooth would have been white,
Yeah.
everything would have been fine.
Oh yeah.
So if we would have
would've.
sort of detached their eyelights from the, the
Right. Look
softer
at those
yellow
guys.
lights.
Are they
Yep.
looking yellow? Holy
Yep.
mackerel.
God has a lot to say.
Yep, but we corrected on the next show. What was the next show after this? Was it
Esther,
Esther?
wasn't it?
Yeah, I think it was Esther. Yeah.
I think it was Esther.
Yeah, no, there was no yellowness.
That
going
was a
on there.
little over ambitious, you know?
No. It was glorious. We didn't have countertop or a silly song, so we got complaints. But other than that, I think it
Yeah.
was good.
We'll have to do the commentary on that one.
Oh yeah,
imagine,
I
pretty
think that's
soon.
coming up. Coming up
Yeah.
next.
Coming up. Stay tuned for Esther commentary. Let's just start it right now. I like the opening shot. There's a great matte painting by Joe Sapulich, and I love the score. Okay, there.
Well, we can save
We'll
that
get
one.
back to that later. There's QWERTY, that computer that I built in like 1991.
We still gotta update him. We still gotta update him.
That's
I
a
don't know.
1991 IBM 386. I built it for an industrial film. So it was actually, it's probably used illegally in VeggieTales because it's probably owned by I don't know whom. I don't even remember who I built it for. It was a little
Oh,
talking
man.
computer for an industrial film.
Yep, yep.
Or make
We could make it an
ourselves?
iMac one day.
Yeah.
One of those cool iMacs with the 17-inch
Oh, yeah.
screen
Yeah.
that moves
And the
around.
super drive.
And
So
the super
Bob
drive.
and Larry can burn their own DVDs.
That's right.
Not have to pay Warner Brothers anymore.
No, but they have Copy Protect. I just read
Coffee
that.
Protect?
Copy Protect. I read an article on DVD Tunes that quoted Dan Merrill.
Really?
Dan Merrill said, "Our intellectual
works here at
property
Big
is
Idea.
very important to us."
Our intellectual, you
can quote him on
quote
that.
us on that. Unlike other media companies, we consider our intellectual property very important.
Oh, look at the little tooth. Little Jean-Claude P.
I forgot
dipped
about
in
that.
strawberry sauce.
That's funny. He should be leaving little strawberry footprints. Oh, look, you directed that?
And you wrote it.
I wrote that.
And Jen produced it.
Sean
Gaffney, based on a
based on a
script.
story. See, based on
Okay.
a story.
Concept artist. Yep.
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 King
Todd
James-
Carter.
Sto-
Oh,
Sto-
yeah.
Sto-
We forgot to talk about This was Todd Carter's first show.
Oh.
He came in and he storyboarded the whole show
and
all by
Steve
himself.
Unterfranz,
Who went to work on
went
the
to
Lord
work
of the
on
Rings.
Lord of the Rings. He
Yep.
thought that was better than this. Man.
He must be wrapping up on that
Yeah,
pretty
he must
soon.
be. He'll want to
Yeah.
come back, I bet. He'll be begging for his
Yep.
own job back. Well, forget it. Forget it.
You can come back, Steve, if you're
Go.
listening to this.
think
Come
Gollum's
back into
more fun than Larry the
open arms.
Cucumber? Oh, we should probably make a video about that.
Yeah, yep. I remember sending an email to him when he first left. I told him to throw another Hobbit on the Barbie down there in New Zealand.
That's funny.
Yeah, yep.
Oh, the credits weren't so long back then.
Nope.
Luis
Oh, yeah,
did
he
that.
did all the storyboards for that. Yep.
That's nice.
Patrick Keane. Pat Keane is now a lawyer.
He's a lawyer now.
Yep,
That's
for the city of
crazy.
Chicago. He's a prosecuting
Whoa.
attorney for the
Who are
city of
those
Chicago.
people? Romans 12:10. Bye.
Lumpy.
bye,
That's when
Lumpy.
we got rid of our Lumpy server. We gave him a little goodbye.
That's
There's
nice.
Chris. There's executive producer. That's
oh,
you.
that's me.
I want to be an executive
That was
producer one of these days.
2000.
What do they do? What
That
do
was-
executive
they don't
producers
do?
do?
Anything. They don't do
No?
anything. That was 3 years ago. Well, that was the show. We hope you liked it a whole bunch. And that was the Ducky Squeak on the A-Pop. And we'll see you next time.
Goodbye.
Good night. Drive safe.